Okay, we'll start with Thor Hushoft, who's won 8 individual stages at the Tour de France and 2 time trials there. And Thor, at the start line, you talked about the number one objective was to protect TJ. And then if it occurred, possibly go for a stage win. Could you take us through the last, these 50 kilometers from the breakaway? I know there was a lot of wind out there.
Yeah, it was a lot of wind, and you kind of got more and more nervous in the bunch because we saw it's maybe going to come some crosswind section, and in the end I think it was Radio Shack who did move, and yeah, we were able to move up together, me, TJ, and Mickey Shear. So we had 3 guys up there, which was good, and we was going full gas for a while, and then we decided I could sit back, so we also go for the stage, and kind of I think Jens Vogt surprised us all a bit, and we kind of didn't work that well together, also because everybody was on the limits.
Was the wind when the breaks were occurring in the gaps? Was the wind at its strongest, or was it even stronger at certain points before that?
I think at that moment was the strongest. It was a difficult wind. It came like a bit from all directions. That was the feeling in the bunch. So the bunch was moving all over the road all day. So it was because of this was ended up to be a hard day.
And TJ, on to you. Surprised at today's stage, the way it developed? I'm sure you don't go in with a game plan exactly like that, but at the same time, opportunity.
Yeah, it was. That certainly wasn't the plan going into the day. But once we saw how strong the winds were, actually for the most part in the first half of the race, it was headwind, and really you can't split a race in a headwind. So we were thinking it was just going to be a really slow day, but then we kind of were. The wind started shifting a little bit, and you could see that Radio Shack and a couple other teams were getting organized at the front. So you had a nervous feeling in the bunch that something was about to happen. And when it went, I was lucky enough to have big, strong, powerful guys like Mickey Shar and Thor Hushoft to protect me and keep me up there.
And one final question before we turn it over. With the time trial tomorrow, did it take any spark out of the legs, or you think with 17 guys in that break, you were protected enough?
Today definitely cost a little bit of energy, that's for sure. But in my mind, I was kind of thinking like, okay, Mick Rogers is here. He's the best time trialer. As long as he's turning, then it's okay for me to turn. So as long as we're keeping it even, and you know, he never missed a pole and I never missed a pole. So I think it's all pretty even.
Questions for TJ? We'll take a few for him and then rotate Jens up here. I know they got a long transfer, as does everybody. Questions?
TJ, looking to tomorrow's time trial, you're obviously where you want to be in the lead. What do you make of that final climb, and which bike will you ride?
I'm gonna pass on that one. It is a good time trial, and it's definitely dynamic, and it requires a lot of thinking, not just going out and riding hard, but yeah.
How difficult has it been to go from brutally hot to racing in this weather?
I wouldn't exactly say it's cool right now. I think this is nice weather here. To me, this is the perfect temperature. But yeah, the heat is typically something I struggle in, and it's something that I've really worked on. I spent a lot of time in the sauna to try to prepare myself for it. But yeah, that heat, it took a lot out of a lot of people.
TJ, would you speculate on others who may be in the top 5 of the time trial or top 10?
Yeah. Meyer from Green Edge, Rogers from Saxo Bank, Boucher from Radio Shack, me, and Let's see who else. Those are the best guys for the time trial. Zabriskie, but he's not on GC, but he'll be up in the top 5 on the stage for sure.
Okay, 2 more questions for TJ. Or none. Oh, Matthew.
TJ, what kind of lead do you think you need going into the Diablo stage, or would you be comfortable going in with some guys even there?
I think if I feel very confident in my climbing ability to be able to defend on Diablo. I mean, I know that there's Acevedo was climbing really well, but I don't think I think I'm going to take a little bit more time out of him in the time trial, and I don't think I think I can hold his wheel. That shouldn't be a problem.
Final question. I guess the final question would be: have you? I think earlier at the kickoff press conference, you said you had rode the that climb for the time trial. Have you previewed it?
Yes, I previewed it earlier this winter, and it's not easy. You're gonna need the pacing strategy. I think is more important than the bike. It's you're gonna have to save a little bit of energy, but you also don't want to save too much energy because you don't want to start the climb too far down. So it's there's a lot of thinking involved to tomorrow's time trial.
Right. Thanks for your time. I know you got a long transfer ahead. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by. We're going to bring up Jens Vogt. Jens, if you want to make your way up.
Oh, just sit your mind. Ooh. I hate getting older.
Yeah, you hate getting old. I was going to say.
Sure, I do.
So that is win number 99, I believe. Is that correct? Do you know?
It must be 66 now, yeah. I think Colorado last year was 65, and now it's 66.
66 wins in your professional career.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. And so take us through when you two stages in the race to comment on. One, when the winds, crosswinds were there, it looked like you looked over your shoulder to Matthew and Isaiah and made a almost like a head nod, like, hey, it's time to go. And then also make a note on, tell us about when you decided to break away from the breakaway. Obviously, you were feeling good.
Feeling good. I don't know. Probably last time I felt good was when I was 21 or something like that. But we had a look, a close look onto the race circuit today in the road book, calculating the wind directions, and there at that point, 125 kilometers into the race, we saw the possibility that the road turned just a little bit, so it's from sort of like a headwind, went to a crosswind, and crosswinds are always dangerous or always a good moment to actually split the peloton. We had the whole team together. We started. Well, and in the end managed to have our most important guy, Mathieu Boucher, in a break, so hopefully we could move him up a little bit in the overall classification. Markel Iriza and me to drive the break, and then after a while Markel came and said, hey Jens, you know, you're actually looking pretty good. I think you should save it a little bit and, you know, try to go in the last kilometer. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you look at the group, there were some quality riders in there. You know, I mean, to win that, I had to go alone. I mean, I cannot beat Hushoff, Tyler, Sagan, and Michael Matthews, you know. So I'm like, okay, my only chance is if I go early enough that you all look at each other and go, you chase, no, you chase, and I want to play poker. And, you know, once they give me 20 seconds, then I'm gone, you know. I mean, the final was pretty fast, so 5K, it's more or less 5.5 minutes because you're almost at 6 kilometers an hour, you know. We had a bit of supporting wind, a little bit of downhill. So, yeah, once they give me 20 or 30 seconds, it's still funny to me. I still can't believe, you know, I went out and like looked back and said, I can't believe they just gave me 20 seconds. Don't they know that it's not gonna work anymore? They just never learned it. I'm like, yes, it looks awesome. It looks like I'm gonna make it. So that was pretty good. But then, yeah, I had enough time to actually ease up a little bit for the finish because I think I was about to not pass out, but it was pretty hard, I think. I really had to dig deep and give it everything. but now all the pain is behind, and I'm a happy stage winner, so I'm really happy about that.
Questions, Laura? I do have a Peter Sagan quote after this. I was able to get a quote from him.
Thank you. Jens, what was the idea behind splitting the peloton? Was there anyone in specific that you wanted to gain time on? I mean, TJ was there, Rogers was there, Meyer was there, so who are you leaving behind and why were you working so hard?
I could answer with a typical Jensi quote and say, just to cause chaos and mayhem. Isn't that a good enough reason? But then again, okay, serious now. Well, all riders get more or less like 20, 25 kilometers to go. With 60 to go, not really a lot of people expect that it seriously attempt to split the peloton is gonna happen. And so we had Mathieu Boucher this morning in the top 10, and I mean, we dropped the yellow jersey, we dropped a few other good riders. We stretch everybody's legs, so hopefully we make everybody a lot more tired before the TT tomorrow. So yeah, basically two reasons: make everybody suffer, make everybody tired. So we got a better chance in the TT tomorrow. And second, to gain some precious seconds, or maybe even almost a minute, for Mathieu Boucher in overall classification. So those were the two main reasons. And hard work, well, yeah, I guess that's a side effect of it. I mean, nobody ever said cycling is easy, you know. So yes, it was some hard work, but the group worked well together. It was in the interest of TJ and his BMC guys to keep it. Michael Rogers was interested with his riders. The four riders from Orica Green Edge, they were working. We were working pretty well together to keep it alive, and worked good until the end.
You touched on it a little bit earlier, but how do these guys keep letting you get away? I mean, they're not letting you; you're getting away. So your tactics haven't changed. They just keep working. Does it surprise you?
Yes, it does sometimes. I mean, I do the same standard move basically since many, many years. Almost since the last IHH, you know, sort of like I'm doing the same move. But, well, I mean, sometimes like in Colorado, I do it with 140 kilometers to go, and today only was 5 to go. So they know what my plan is. They know I cannot win a sprint, so I have to be alone. But yeah, you gotta catch them by surprise. You gotta make sure they watch each other. You know, Peter Sagan looks for Hushoff looks for Tyler Farrar, and they're busy with themselves, and you go, Dad, that's just the old Jensi, you know, let him go. And yeah, then maybe I think they maybe underestimated me and said, oh, we catch him back, he's gonna die out there and he's gonna slow down. And yeah, it played in my favor. And yeah, I guess I'm allowed to say every now and then also, I do have still a little bit of go power, not every day like 10 years or 5 years ago, but every now and then I still also have a little bit of go power. And once I'm out there, once I can see and smell this victory, it's hard to get me away from it then.
It seems to me that your ability to do that is innate within your makeup. As you said, you've been doing it for a long time. Is it something that you can mentor a younger rider to learn how to pick it up, or is that just something that is within?
You can teach it to a certain amount, but I believe I think that's just a talent of me. I think my talent is that I have a big engine. I can handle a lot of workload. I'm not a top sprinter, not a top TT rider, not a top climber. I just have a big engine, willing to work hard. And I think this instinct for the situation, I think it is sort of like a talent, I suppose. And if you don't have it, then it's hard to teach, because it's the decision is done in like in a split second. You know, like when we turned around that corner, so it's a little uphill. I'm like, I wouldn't say it's almost like a vision, but it's almost like a voice talking in your head, going, "Go now! It's now! It's now! It's now!" And then you listen to that voice, and if you know you don't have that, then it's hard to teach. But I do try all the time to teach the boys: be brave, be courageous, stop holding back. I mean, on Sunday night, if you say, "Oh, yeah, I have some energy left," too late. There's no other stage on Monday, so get it all out now, you know, and don't be afraid, don't be intimidated. I do try to teach them. Yes.
last year at the time trial in California, you were on the podium and you made a comment that you really enjoyed being there because you didn't know how many more opportunities in your career you would have. Yet you were there again in Colorado, and you were there in Germany a week or two ago, and now you're here again today. Can you tell us what all these experiences mean to you as you do kind of enter the twilight of your career?
Twilight is a cool word. I like to call it the Indian summer. You know, it's not winter yet. It's, you know, have you ever seen Indian summer, how beautiful it is? Yep, that's where I am, the Indian summer of my career. But yeah, even though I hate to admit it, but yes, I am getting older, and yes, everything has to come to an end one day. Now the second year in a row, I'm the oldest license holder in the world. You know, I'm the oldest bike rider with a license. But age is just a number apparently, you know, and I mean, if I still can do my job, if I still can be out there and do what people expect and want from me, and not only talk the talk, but also walk the walk afterwards, there's no reason to stop or to slow down or to give it up. Did I answer your question, or? Okay.
Jens, before this race started, you told me you thought that it was sort of that TJ was in the driver's seat. And do you still feel that way? And do you feel like he's sort of the rider of reference here and the man to beat in the TT?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he looks like he's in a pretty good shape, I would say. Maybe not tour shape yet, but a very, very strong, very decent shape. He got a good team around him, or a very good team. So did a good move today was, you know, being in that group and gaining some precious seconds. And I would think, yes, he's still the man to watch.
Final question. Anybody? Jens, I think you joked with someone in the green room that you just earned yourself another year for the contract, huh?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, in a moment, you know, somebody goes, hey, Jens, you want to sign again next year for us? I would be hell yeah. You know?
Okay, final question. Thank you.
Jens, who would you nominate to replace Jens' vote once you're done?
Wow. Good question. I never thought about that. I think it would take maybe two persons. One to do the funny part and one to be the bike rider. Okay, that was arrogant, I'm sorry. Sorry. No, I don't know. I never really thought about this question. You caught me a little bit off guard here. I don't know. I would really have to think about for a second there to find somebody. Okay.
All right. Congratulations, Jens, on yet another win. And hope you celebrate a little tonight on the way up to San Jose.